Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core 4 Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Number 7.
That's it.
Hello, everybody.
Greetings.
Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys are having a great week. First week of April. Soon it'll be May. I just realized how shiny my glasses are. Like always, people, welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast, where we talk about everything to get you in shape, health, fitness, exercise, you name it, mindset. We do it on here. So if you're a new listener or somebody that is a frequent listener and you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, if you could please do us a quick favor, there's a little subscribe button, either if you're on YouTube watching us or listening to us on any of your favorite apps on your phone. If you press subscribe, you'll get notified right when we drop a new episode. That way you don't miss anything, and that way you can stay up to date with smooth sailing week to week to week, and you won't have to go back and go, crap, I forgot I haven't listened to any episodes in months on end. Now I'm out of shape. That way you'll stay on track with everything. Now, today, guys, we wanted to talk to you about kind of the course of the year. This is the time for the gyms. There's kind of 3 big peaks or spikes that we get inside the gym. One is in September when the kids go back to school. One is usually in January with all the New Year's resolution people. And then there was another one that usually is right now somewhere between beginning of March to, let's say, end of April, where everybody goes, oh my gosh, I let myself go in the wintertime. It's tank top season, swimsuit season, t-shirt season. I want to get this 10 to 15 pounds off of me. And you'll get these big, huge spikes. And we get usually 3 or 4 of them a year. And we're going to kind of talk to you guys about why that happens, why people will feel the need to almost work extremely hard for a 2 to 3 month period. And then why the other, let's say, 9 months out of the year, it kind of becomes lackadaisical. So kick it off, Ev. You were the mastermind.
And I think more importantly, how to avoid it. It's a grand scheme yo-yo. It's the yo-yo stuff that all of us are so fond of doing. Not fond of doing, but all fall into the trap of doing, where you stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. And eventually, as we age, it gets harder to start. And then eventually we just stop altogether. And then we're old and can't do stuff that we were doing just a few years ago. Which is a bummer, which is what everybody wants to avoid ultimately. But I think the most interesting thing to me is how easy it is to just become motivated when you have that self-starter. Like the summer, for example, we'll talk about now. The gym right now, we have a lot of new members in the gym, which is great. It's exciting. Sun is shining a lot more, although it's still cold half the time. There's just an obvious lift that happens. And also, I think it's interesting, it's not only the members who have been here, the new members, but there's like an uptick in like intensity almost. I feel like people are okay with challenging themselves even more, working that much harder. I don't know if you agree, but just from observing, because I'm in the gym all day and I see, we have 175 members or whatever at this gym, so I'm watching
180.
180. I'm watching a lot of people all the time, right? And I'm observing. Some people I've known for 7 years. Some people I've known for 2 days. But that uptick and that intensity is here, and it is without question a huge motivator. Is that, like you said, tank top season? We're going to go to pools. We're going to be outside. We got to wear t-shirts. We can't cover up in hoodies, and it's time to go. And why is it so okay to just do this now? And what happens throughout the rest of the course of the year that makes it okay to not? Why are we so keeping all of our focus outside of health and more so focused on the optics of it, which is the grand scheme picture of one of the biggest issues with fitness in the world and society? So I thought it would be an interesting topic to kind of get into the nitty-gritty of our psyche and why it's okay. And we're all right with pushing ourselves a little harder, being at the gym 5:30 in the morning. It's not as hard to push snooze all of a sudden. It's almost because we have that little, well, if you don't do it, bad things are going to happen, right? It's almost like it's more obvious. If you don't do it, it's going to be June and you're going to wear a shirt and you're not going to like the way you look or feel or be confident in that shirt. And so we go, okay, I'll do it. But the reality is that if you don't do it, something bad's coming is kind of around us all the time. And it's just a lot heavier than whatever, how our arms look or what have you. That's the March one for sure. What do you think the big uptick is for the other peaks? Kids go back to school is a big time.
Kids' schedule change is a big one for September, where parents are like, okay, I have freedom again. I can go to the gym, at one of these 8 workouts I'll be able to make for sure. And then another one, for obvious reasons, is after the New Year. Everybody feels guilty from Christmas overeating, holiday parties, New Year's, and then everybody has their resolutions. But I think we told you guys previously, right around when the New Year started, I think they say 92% of fitness and health-related resolutions end up failing. And it just goes to show, like how you talked about those 3 peaks over the course of the year. I mean, how many people start in January, they're gung-ho, and then by, February, March, April, May, they still go, well, I remember what I wanted back in January. You probably completely forgot. You're probably like, oh, I said wanted to lose, was it 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 15 pounds? Or I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. And a lot of it is during that period, we have time off of work. The kids are home from school. You have some freedom, work slows down, and you're like, oh, I can totally make this work. I got all this free time. I can eat like I want to and, go to the gym at this, and the kids are home and it's fine. But once reality hits you again and the emails pile up from when you were gone or the phone calls and the kids are back in school and the driving and the homework and the lunches, you're like, when in the heck am I going to be able to do this? And you kind of end up just pushing it, the lowest thing on the totem pole as far as importance for you in your life. But just like we said, guys, there's always going to be things that interrupt your schedule, whether it's kids, whether it's work related. I had a flat tire last week. But it's always something that's going to come up. But if you always let that thing be the thing that throws you off, the next day it's going to be something different. And the next day it's going to be something different. And the next day you can play this game for eternity until eventually you go, I have to take my health and my goals and my fitness and as just important as taking my kids to school or going to work or doing the things that I want to do. It's up there on the important level. And what a lot of people do is just like you said, they kick it down the road until they're like, oh, but I really want to look good right now for summer. And, you're not going to be able to get 20 pounds off in a month and a half. I mean, if you starved yourself, you could. But, I like to my whole thing is I stay in like a 5 to 8 pound bubble year round. And I know if I go 2 up that I'm like, okay, stay back in your bubble. You're good. And when it comes to spring and summertime, it's really easy just to kind of fire it back up again. And you're like, all right, I'm going to get these last 4 or 5 pounds off just so I can feel comfortable if I'm walking around in swim trunks. And it's easy. I can blast it out in 3 weeks if I really want to. As opposed to going, it's either 100% focus inside the gym for these 3 times out of the year. And then every other time it's, I have to lose 20 pounds and I hate exercising and I hate dieting because it's so much work and it's so much this. But I'm like, yeah, but if you can just kind of stay in your wheelhouse, in your bubble, right, 12 months out of the year, you don't have to be perfect. You can enjoy yourself, but get in that 5 to 8 pound little sweet spot for yourself. And that way, if you go 2 up, you can drop a pound or 2. You're right back in your bubble again. If you want to get in shape for summer, same thing. Drop another 2 or 3 pounds. You're still in your bubble. You're looking good. You're feeling good. And that way you're not laser focused on having to be perfect, where I have to be 130 pounds year round. And oh my God, I went up to 136 or I went down to, 128 and I feel out of whack. If you can just kind of maintain your sweet spot, give yourself some wiggle room, and it does help you to get in shape year round. And then when you do have those moments like New Year's resolutions, kids go back to school, you want to get in shape for the summertime, you go, sweet, I'm going to fire this baby up, intensify it for a month or 2 months out of the year, and I'll be right back to where I am. All I got to do is coast through the summer, coast through the other stuff, and it makes it 10 times more easy.
Yeah, the way I always do that with how I feel and how clothes fit, though. I don't necessarily look at which is fine. I'm not saying one way's right, one way's the other. I'd probably hop on the scale a couple times a year, like just
Same.
because I'm just bored. Oh, I wonder how this looks. It's always just more or less the same. But that's because I'm always doing the same stuff. And of course, there's holiday season or whatever. But I wonder if it's like a matter of conditioning versus a matter of used to. It's almost like a breakthrough people need to get to being a gym goer, like somebody versus being, just not however you want to word it, not just being unhappy, like fixing being unhappy or being a gym goer. Like there tends to be a huge breakthrough. Like I was saying, there's a ton of new people coming in now. There's a couple of them that have already said, well, I'm really just going to work out until May, and then I'll come back in July. So they're already planning on when they're just going to stop working out for 2 months again. And I don't understand. It's always hard. It's part of my job to kind of gently massage this into people without scaring them or trying to sell them, but be like, this is something you're going to do now. This is you.
You're doing all this work.
This is you now.
For nothing, basically.
Don't stop and start. It's bad news. But it's such a premeditated mindset. And that's why the fall one, kids go back to school, is so big too. I think another huge motivating factor is holidays are coming up and they got to see family members they only see once a year. And they got to go, oh, I don't want my family to know I've been walking around 15 pounds heavier. So if I just get it in gear, come Thanksgiving time, I'm going to look exactly like I did last year. And they won't know the real reality is I just spent 8 months not taking care of myself or whatever. That's a very dramatic example. But you know what I mean? It's a similar vibe. And same with people that are like, well, the summertime's coming, so I spend a lot of time outside. And it's like, I understand. But that doesn't mean no exercise. Are you saying you're going to exercise out, like you're just going to be outside, or you have like a garage workout area? Or I don't, it's bizarre to me. And I've tried my hardest to come up with the best way to be like, hey, stop stopping. but it's, especially with new faces, people that I'm just kind of learning and they don't really know me yet and they don't know my intentions yet, I don't think it would go well to be like,
come off that bluntly.
Yeah. But I also, in a way of saying it, you don't want to make them feel stupid, but in a way it's like, hey, you're doing this wrong. Like you're looking at this fully not the way health and fitness needs to be looked at. You're looking at this as a means to an end, an undoing of the little fun you had. And why aren't you looking at it as a non-stop journey of like every day you should try to be fitter, right? Don't you want to? You don't, like, obviously there's ebbs and flows and there's maintaining and there's times when you're not working out as intensely or whatever, and you have your mind shifted to different focuses, of course. But I still I'm not just gonna I'm not okay with just 2 years from now not being able to do what I'm doing right now. And I know if I don't actively keep doing what I'm doing right now, I won't be able to do this in 2 years. So the bare minimum, I got to keep doing what I'm doing. It's a bizarre thing. It's an odd thing to be like, yeah, well, and then I'll be back in the fall, and it's just like, I mean,
that's the thing with a lot of people though,
and they do come back. But I wish they wouldn't.
But with a lot of people, they get stuck. They never look toward the future. They're so focused on, I have to fix the past. I have to undo the past. I have to undo the past. I have to undo the past. So they never make any progress into the future. And these are the people that lose 15 pounds but gain 18 back, or lose 20 pounds and they gain 22 back. And then they do the same thing. I got to undo the past. I got to undo the past. I got to undo. I'm like, if you can just stop, you're not making any progress. But I go, if you can focus on stop undoing what you already did. You can't change it. It's already done. It's behind you. It's in the past. And look forward to, I'm going to start taking these actions so in the future, there's nothing to undo so I can continue to get better. they're always just have their set sight on the rear view mirror at all times, and they're never looking down the line. What's my life going to look like in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, even just 6 months from now? But they get such in the repetitive habit of thinking, I got to undo all the work I didn't do for the past 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. And then I'm going to get to this goal and then I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to have to undo the 3, 6 months, 12 months again. They just stay stuck in this cycle of never making any progress. Or if you can have your set sight on the past is the past, it already happened. You can't change it. It's behind you. It is what it is. But the one thing you have control of is what you're going to do right now and what you're going to do for the months going forward. Are you going to stick with it? Are you going to be somebody that doesn't just go inside of a yo-yo every single time and it's up and down, it's left and right? But when you can kind of eliminate that mindset of, beating yourself up for the stuff you did in the past or getting down on yourself for the stuff you did in the past and realize I'm here, I'm in the moment, I can control what I do today. And if I can duplicate this throughout the future, in 6 or 12 months, I'm going to be a completely different looking, different feeling individual. And I'm going to be 10 times happier with my life rather than every, 3 times a year hopping back on board, trying to undo what I already did.
Right.
And, you're driving blind, basically.
Yeah.
You're not looking through the frontward mirror. You're looking in the rear view mirror and you're never actually gaining any ground.
Right. You're not getting anywhere. In a weird, blunt, harsh way, it's like you're just staying where you are. You're doing undoing, and one day you were fed up with how you felt, how you looked, what your ability to whatever, go on a hike or pick something up or something irritated you to the point where you went, I need to make a change. I got to go do it. Most of us, it's looks. I think most of us catch ourselves in the mirror one day and go, oh boy, I got to make some changes. And if it's not a full-time, long-term change, what are we doing? You're not saying in that moment, man, I don't like the way I look. I would like to look better for the next 3 months. You're saying, I want this person gone. I want the new me. I want somebody who can lift this much, run this much, hike this much, play with my kids this much, wear this shirt, wear these shorts. And the continual on and off it's until that is like you're almost at jeopardy of actually doing the health thing. The point is that you are conditioning your body to be able to handle something that you weren't. But if you're always stopping, you're no longer doing it. Like I used to be able to lift a lot heavier. I used to be able to run a lot faster. I can't do it right now because I haven't been in practice. It's not that I'm in so much worse shape. It's that I haven't been up to my practice, right? I also can't go, pitch a baseball 100 miles per hour. I never have been able to, but there's a time in my life where I could throw a baseball harder than I can right now, or whatever. Hockey, I'm not, we haven't skated in 2 months. I'd be worse right now than I was 2 months ago being in practice. And that's the same thing we should look at fitness. Like always stay in practice, always stay healthy, always stay fit. Your friends call you in March and go, got to pick up softball game, you in? Yep. If they call you in January, got to pick up softball game, you in? Yep. If they call you in September, yep. You're always staying you. And that is what makes you a healthy individual. It's not, oh, I got a big 5K in March, I'm going to start getting serious in January. And we play these games from time to time, and I'm not sure why. I think it makes things a lot harder. I really do. Because as we've talked about at nauseum in this podcast, it's starting the boulder moving is the hardest part of that momentum. And every time we do this, we're forcing ourselves to do the hardest part again. And as we age, that harder gets even harder. It's now also, my knee feels different than 2 years ago when I was doing this exercise. Why? It's like, well, you've just, so it's compounding, and the psychology around it is, and I'm not above it either. I don't want this to come off preachy where I get it 1000% too. If you don't think the fact that summer's coming up is motivating me when it comes to nighttime snacking, I mean, you're crazy. I've thought about it a lot. Like, oh, these
You boys
people.
doing a water fast as we speak.
You are?
Started yesterday. Today's day 2.
I don't know how you do that. You're a madman. But yeah,
They've gotten way easier.
the more you've done it.
The first one was hard.
Look
really
at that.
hard.
Hang on. How about that for just a beautiful microcosm of what we're talking about? It gets easier the more you condition your body to do it.
It is. Now I'm just like, okay, I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's not nearly as hard as it was the first time. Your body gets used to it. You know what to expect.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, this will be done in 72 hours. It is what it is.
Yep. That's what, and there's going to be discomfort and challenge and annoyance in strengthening your body. Like, it's not just easy and comfortable and fun. It's not. It's hard. You go, oh, I got to do 10 more push-ups. I could be done. No, do 10 more push-ups. Takes you a minute. It's going to be a shitty minute. Oh, well. You're about that action. You know? Oh, I said I was going to run 4 miles today. I'm at 3 miles. I want to stop. Or I said I was going to do 5 rounds of something. I'm at 3 rounds and I want to stop. Or blah, 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 blah. Or the only time I can do it is at 9 o'clock tonight. But I'm tired. It's just like, okay, well then decide. I don't know. Eventually you just got to kind of toughen ourselves up and be like, come on, enough's enough. It's almost like there's 2 trains of thoughts. There's your constant, deep want, and then your superficial, every moment in the day want. And that just kind of passes over what we're here for, what we really actually want. And it's damaging us. It's frustrating.
Yeah. And like we talked about it a while ago, but like the house analogy, or like building anything. You build a car from the ground up or you build a house from the ground up. I guarantee you are going to take 10 times greater care of that house or the car because you're like, I invested all of this time, all of this effort, all of this work. I'm going to make sure that this thing functions. I'm not going to skip oil changes. I'm going to make sure that I fill it up with gas. I'm going to make sure that this, or I don't use shitty wood to build the house. And the same thing goes with your health, right? If you're putting in all this time and effort for those first 2 to 3 months, you're going to go, well, I'm just going to keep this place a shithole, let all the garbage everywhere. No, you're going to go like, I put all this dedication to building this thing from the ground up. I want to take care of it so it can last for years and years and years to come. And the same thing goes with your fitness. And for a lot of us, I think we think that it's just going to be around functioning forever. And we might have built it once and we let it sit in the garage and rust and treat it like shit. And then we try to start it up again 5-10 years later. And it's a mess and there's mold or our car doesn't run or whatever it is. And you can say the same thing with your health is we tend to always think it'll be there tomorrow. It'll be there in the garage tomorrow. It'll be there in the garage tomorrow till eventually you get to the point where you're like, shit, this thing doesn't turn over. It doesn't run. Now I have no automobile or now I don't have a roof over my head. It's leaking anywhere. And it's not because you necessarily built it like shit. It's just that you didn't maintain it. You didn't end up taking care of it and doing the small things that are going to make sure that it's around for a long period of time. If you had a leaky roof or if you had a flat tire, you wouldn't just ignore the thing. You would go, okay, this is something that has to be fixed. And you would fix it and then you would carry on. These little things always come up. But if you are just some person that goes, I lost 20 pounds, I can abandon ship, everything's going to be smooth sailing, I got the body I want, it'll be here in 3 more years. It doesn't work like that. So you have to remember, if you are in your sweet spot and let's say you do want to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds in, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, let that be your goal. But also remember, okay, I'm there. Now I just have to stay in maintenance mode. I have to stay. Here's my routine. Maybe it means, you allow yourself an extra cheat meal once a week because you finally hit your sweet spot or whatever the thing may be. But for a lot of us, we go gung-ho, reach the goal, and then we're like, done, abandon ship, eat like crap again, start skipping the gym. and everything's going to start to fall apart. And then it happens again. You come back in September or March or New Year's resolution time, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to build this whole car again or build this whole house again. This is so exhausting. I don't want to do it. I'll just throw in the towel. And then all of a sudden you got no car or no house to live in.
Yeah, for sure. This, like, the stop start thing with exercise and moving your body, can't happen. Just as you age, it just can't happen. You can't allow yourself to be able to run a 5K one day and then just don't run for 2 years and then pick it up again. You're asking for injury. You're asking for something bad to happen, because one day you're going to get the itch and you go, I can do that, and you're going to run, and you might get lucky, or you're going to whatever, shin splints, injury, whatever. Hopefully that's it. Hopefully it's nothing more serious. It's going to happen. Jumping is the same way. Balance is the same way. So like your physical practice of just being able to do shit, you can't stop it. Cannot stop it. Never can stop it. Like, your nutrition stuff is going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be the holiday season. There's going to be the vacations. There's going to be whatever. But, you might take 2 months off of eating clean and you might gain 10 pounds. But if you're still actively exercising during all that time, it's such a different story than vice versa, where your nutrition is absolutely perfect, but then you just stop working out one day. It's like, yeah, well, then you can't do a push-up to save your life 3 years down the line. Yeah, you didn't gain any weight, but you have no muscle on your body. You have, blah, 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 blah. So if you are somebody who has just started or started months ago or whatever, and you're toying with the idea of taking a summer off or stopping and circling back in fall when the kids go back to school, it's not even not beneficial for you. It's actually bad for you. I would argue it's bad for you, because you're putting your body through, in a way, we're putting our body through trauma when we exercise, or we're breaking down our muscles, we're picking heavy stuff up, we're jumping out on the floor, we're doing a box jump, a broad jump, and lunges, and knees are working, and elbows are working, and joints are working. It's a traumatic thing, and the muscle breakdown, and we're sore. It's like, don't let that be for nothing. Keep it going. And if one day we just pick up 3 years from now and go, oh, I'm just going to do a full workout like I used to do, bad things happen. Hurt your back because you lift wrong, or you lift weight you shouldn't be lifting, it's got to stay in practice. I like the term, I forgot where I heard it from, but the term in practice more so than like getting in shape or exercising. It's like, no, just like anything else. You practiced how to write, and then you had penmanship, and then when you stop, because we all have phones now, it's weird to write anything on paper now. I'm like, oh, this is weird. It's bizarre. It's the same thing with your body. If you could do pull-ups at one time and you can't do them now, it's just because you're out of practice. That's it.
Stay in the pocket. That's all you got to do. Like a fighter.
Yep.
And just stay in the pocket. And then every couple months, if you want to throw out 25 punches,
yep,
cool. Knock them down. Go right back in the pocket again. Stay in your bubble. Have you ever seen Trailer Park Boys?
Oh, yeah. A while ago. I've only seen.
Did you ever see the episode with Mr. Leahy when he takes the breathalyzer with him everywhere?
I'm sure. I don't know.
So he calls it staying in the slot. He goes, I take this puppy with me everywhere I go, just so I can maintain like a 0.14.
Oh my God.
He's like, I'm not too hammered. I'm not too sober. He's like, I'm right in the slot.
Yeah.
Right? He's like,
yeah.
And I just stay at that 0.14 or whatever it is all day long.
That's it.
Right in the slot.
Just stay in the slot. That's a great way to put it. Completely agree.
Stay in the slot, baby.
Completely agree.
But what else, peoples? I think I know we've been teasing it for like a month, but one more week, I think, before the new big announcement comes out in the supplement store. I told you guys it'll be a game changer. We'll have it at the gyms too. But stay tuned. We'll probably release it, I'm hoping, next week. I think on the 6th or 7th is when it's supposed to officially drop. But this will be a game changer if you're a snacky person, if your kids aren't eating healthy, if you need stuff around the house to put inside their lunches or your lunches, or you're a nighttime eater and you're like, I can't stay away from sweets. This will change your life. So stay tuned. dropping soon. It'll be at our core4supplements.com website. But besides the big teaser that we gave you, should you need anything, guys, whey protein, greens, collagen, deep sleep gummies, BCAAs, pre-workouts, the new Torch supplement is awesome. I've been taking it every single day. Sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon.
Still haven't tried
10
it.
thumbs up. It doesn't get you like caffeine tweaky,
Yeah.
but it just makes you like very, very dialed in. Have you tried it yet?
Still haven't. No.
Oh, just wonderful.
Just busy 2 weeks. Just haven't thought about it. That's all. Not on purpose.
Don't take it past 4 is what I would recommend.
Okay.
Because then you'll be too spun out to go to sleep. But if you need something middle of the afternoon and you don't want caffeine, or you need something in the morning to pick you up, like I said, doesn't give you a caffeine tweaky. It just hones you in. You feel good. You got some pep in your step. You feel awake. You feel alert. And love it. Again, Torch supplement on core4supplements.com. 26 thumbs up. We got protein. We got it all. And if you're a podcast listener or watcher, if you use the code word podcast when you check out, you'll save 10% off your whole order. So punch it in at the checkout. And if you spend over $100, we ship it all to your house for free. So one more time, core4supplements.com. We will announce the big special thing that's coming out next week, probably to you guys. But if you need anything between now and then, head online and grab whatever you need. But that is all, peoples. Have a great day. Have a great week. And we will see you all next week with the big surprise.
Bye-bye.
See ya.